Colorado Avalanche are the best 5-on-5 team I've ever personally had the privilege of watching. They're so great, in fact, that an absolutely abysmal power play doesn't even matter to this team. Avs win over the Winnipeg Jets 3-2. The Avs are also probably the best regular season team I've ever had the privilege of watching, at least so far. If their special teams issues continue to be a problem, we'll see if they can continue the ridiculous regular season pace. But at 5-on-5, it genuinely feels like they're pretty unbeatable. We saw exactly that in the first period of this game. Winnipeg really didn't do a ton offensively, especially at 5-on-5 against Colorado. The Avs held them to just 22 shots in this game, just 18 at 5-on-5. There were some high dangers that the Avs gave up, but Scott Wedgwood was locked in net behind them, gave up nothing at 5-on-5, and the Avs took care of business where they needed to. In the first, that included killing a Winnipeg power play to keep things 0-0, and then the Avs dropped the offensive hammer. It does start with a fortunate bounce. Avs fourth line earning pucks. They don't get enough credit for creating opportunities because of this. Initially, a pretty poor shot from Brent Burns comes through, but the Avs get the rebound and create second chance opportunities. They're able to get it back out high to Burns again. This one slowly develops as they constantly just drive the net, creating chaos through the middle and in the crease areas. That makes it hard for teams to defend, and because of that chaos, Burns this time probably more looking for a pass to the backside of Jack Drury here, and it goes off of the defender's skate and in. That's Brent Burns' 19th point of the season, and he definitely has some fortunate points off of kicks and pucks that go off of weird stuff like that. But why does he have all of those things? Because he puts the puck toward the net. Is that a shot? Not really. It's more of a pass to the back door, but it's still getting the puck to the dangerous areas, and it's not the type that we see from the Avs sometimes where they make these blind passes to scary places. Brent Burns is very intentionally trying to put pucks to certain players, and yeah, you know what? He gets lucky sometimes, sure. But it's because he's trying to create effective plays. And credit to the Avs forwards for driving the net on that play too. There was a play that could have looked pretty there, not just a hope on a prayer. Then you just got lucky. And you know what? When you're going up against a goalie like Connor Hellebuyck, sometimes you need some fortunate bounces. Hellebuyck is really good in net, especially at times in this game. The second period, mostly, he was seemingly unbeatable. I do think at times during this game that got into the Avs' head. It looked like they were trying to pick corners pretty heavily and missing the net a good amount because it was Hellebuyck in net. But one guy actually picks a corner properly, and it comes from the Avs' top line. Burns and Manson again. That pairing a theme on the Avs goals in tonight's game. This time it's with the top line though, and while initially Winnipeg wins a puck battle in their own zone, the errant shot is one the Avs jump on quickly. Lehkonen gets it up ice. Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas are off to the races. Just like that, Necas is going to beat his man up the ice to create a 2-on-1 opportunity as Nathan plays this perfectly with his timing to hit a pass that is just nasty. MacKinnon often tries those passes and sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does, and it sets up operations like this. Necas immediately knows what he wants to do with the puck. He picks his spot low glove and he beats one of the best goalies in the league clean. I don't care who you are, best goalie in the world or a high-quality defense or not good at those things. The Avs' top line speed and skill is going to bite you eventually. Nate just certainly seems to be over whatever illness he was dealing with, and he has 13 points in 9 games through December. So even when he was sick, he was still producing for the Avs. Just 2 games of those 13 where he had no points. I love to see him score a goal, too. That's his first real goal in a very long time. His last one came at the start of December, and it was a nonsense goal that he passed off of a guy and just kind of floated into the net. 4 shots on goal in this game is the most from him in a long time, and the shooting version of Necas is absolutely the best version of Necas and the version that the Avs often need. To help the Avs win this first period, not just by 1, but by 2 goals makes a massive difference. We know Hellebuyck's hard to beat. A multi-goal lead sets the Avs up for success for the rest of this game. The second period, pretty blah. Not that the Avs didn't have good chances, but as I mentioned, Hellebuyck played great through the second. The Jets didn't do a whole lot. It ended up kind of being this sludgy neutral zone game for them for most of the second. And the problem with the second period is it should not have been boring for the Avalanche. Not because of Hellebuyck, but because they got 3 separate power play opportunities. Now, I had been willing to give the power play a bit more space, because over the last couple of games, they scored some meaningful power play goals. The one the other day against Seattle was genuinely meaningful and good. And their power play comes out in this game and absolutely does nothing. The first 30 seconds of the first one looked pretty decent, and the rest of the power plays were just a disaster. Not even really competitive, if we're being honest. And if that's not bad enough, one of those power plays comes in the last minute of the second period. Not only do they not score, they give one up. Avs power play that won a faceoff and gets set up immediately. I don't even hate this initial play. Back to Brock Nelson on the back door. He just doesn't get a lot of it to set up an opportunity. Winnipeg finds the puck, and this is a pretty routine thing. He's just going to try off the boards and out. Nothing crazy here. And Makar is sitting at the blue line that if it's an error, he can hold it in. I guess this puck takes a little bit of a weird bounce off the top of the dasher. You can see it fly. It's somewhere up here. I think that's it, up in the sky. And Makar just doesn't react. I don't know if he just didn't see it or it was a funny bounce or if he's thinking about what he had for dinner, but he just falls asleep on this play. Guy skates right by him, and now he's not even competitive on the defensive side of the puck, and all of a sudden Morgan Barron has scored a shorthanded goal on you. Ouch. Genuinely no clue what Cale Makar is doing there. He just seems to be asleep. I know people talked about him being on the ice out there for over 2 minutes at that point. Change. Get off the ice. Get somebody else out there. It's not that complicated. That second period, at least the special team stuff, is legitimately scary. You turn what should be opportunities to put a dagger and essentially end this game, and you turn it into a way back in for Winnipeg. Not only for momentum, but literally by giving them a goal. The Avs special teams are horrible. On standard rating, they're barely above 15%. When you look at net power play, which actually punishes them for giving up shorthanded goals, this was the second shorthanded goal they've given up this season, they are sitting at a disgusting 12.7%. The power play does need to be better, but you can survive as long as your penalty kill is really good. I am at a point where I don't know if the Avs power play is even fixable. Yes, at some point I do think you need to take the Avs top players on it and play the fourth liners or whatever just to send a message, but we've been staring at this power play issue for the better part of 5 months, if you include the end of last season. It might just be permanently broken. This is somehow fine because all the Avs are actually net negative on the power play in this game. They come out in the third period at 5-on-5 and get their goal back. Avs back to 5-on-5 where they thrive. It's actually not a great breakout initially from Burns and Girard, but it's a good job by Parker Kelly to get back and make sure the Avs maintain possession and keep going the right direction. Nichushkin's able to get into the zone, makes a slick little move to set this up, and Winnipeg just oversinks back. Very common problem in the NHL. You don't want to let that trailing forward beat you, but because they sink back so far, there's plenty of room up high for your defenseman to take advantage of. Josh Manson, just off the bench, does a good job of that, and again, Avs fourth liners. Crash net, get into a dirty area, good things will happen. Shot comes in from Manson, and this one goes off of a nice tip from Parker Kelly, and the Avs get their 2-goal lead back. Look, if Grinders can score at 5-on-5 against Hellebuck, they can score on the power play too. That's all I'm saying. Parker Kelly gets what ends up being the game-winning goal. Huge stuff from the Avs' depth. It's a big part of the reason why the Avs are better than everyone else at 5-on-5. Yes, they have the superstar talent at the top. That also definitely matters. But any line, any time, even their defense, you're afraid that they can score on you. They can take you to the house anytime at 5-on-5. And it's a good thing they do because the Avs take a penalty and the penalty kill cracks a few minutes later. Penalty kill for the Avs, they lose the initial face-off and things deteriorate very quickly here. The Avs send 2 guys on the wall to challenge the puck and try and get themselves out of it, and when they lose the puck, you're never going to feel good about this. Now you need one of your defensemen to step up and take the puck carrier, which leaves Manson for the guy back, and then you're in an awful spot when a good play gets made to the open space. What's Josh Manson supposed to do here? Parker Kelly's not going to get there effectively. Your other defenseman is not going to get back and help you defend the guy net front, but if you don't cover the puck carrier, that guy's going to walk into the slot and beat you. No good answers from this opening set play. It's a good job from Winnipeg, and it's in the back of your net. Look, is that rough coverage and a lost face-off on the penalty that you want to fix? Absolutely. But the Avs penalty kill has been really, really good this year, and even though they've given up a couple of goals lately, they're still in the top 3 in the NHL when it comes to PK. And I don't know if you know this, you might not because you're an Avs fan probably if you're watching this. You're supposed to score sometimes when you have a man advantage. Your penalty kill is going to give up goals occasionally. You just cannot put the problem of the Avs special teams on their penalty kill. It's the power play that needs to pick up this slack and start doing more effective things. And that would be the last goal of the game. That power play goal did feel like it energized Winnipeg a little bit, and they would push over the next 5, 6, 7 minutes of the third period, but you get inside of that 10-minute mark, and the Avs really lock things down and just take this one home. It ended up being a ridiculously low event third period, especially for the Avs, but they didn't need it to be anything special, and while it did feel like maybe at times it got a little too turtley, the Avs still won. And they haven't made a consistent habit of doing the turtle thing, so that's not a thing I'm worried about either. On the one hand, the special teams are becoming a glaring issue that cannot be ignored, that haven't been ignored, and I just don't know how you fix. On the other hand, the Avs are just so good that they're going to win most nights anyway. What the rest of this regular season is about maintaining your effective ability at 5-on-5, understanding what makes you successful and how to do it every single game. I don't have a whole lot of issue there. The Avs have proven night in and night out they can do the 5-on-5 stuff. And then it's about fixing things. There are little details you want to fix. Of course, those things you got to work on too. But right now, if I was the Avs, the only thing I'd be focusing on is the power play. If you keep winning, well, you need to fix that. Yeah, you might be the best team in regular season history. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and this team really is that good. It's just we're all focused on the worst part of them.